Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan and today's video is gonna be a mini Nykaa haul. I was just browsing through the Nykaa website and I saw a few new launches. So I picked up a few of those and then some products that I've really always wanted to try. And since I didn't pick up that many products, I just wanted to combine this haul with a first impressions because haul videos are relaxing to watch, but they don't really convey anything because you don't really get to know how the products are. So let's get started. So the first product I'm going to be talking about is this Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. This is in the shade 75 Natural Beige. So this product retails for 700 rupees. First and foremost, the reason I bought this foundation is because it comes in this kind of tube packaging. This is like a lot more easier to travel with. It's just a squeezy tube, so you can just squeeze it and then just apply it onto your face. So you don't really have to worry about carrying a glass bottle with you and it breaking and all that. Now coming to the shade selections, I don't think they have a wide variety of shades. I'm pretty sure they have about 5 shades, and this one in the number 75, if I'm not wrong, is the second last shade. That's kind of a bummer because I'm pretty sure you cannot find a shade for yourself if you are somewhat of a very deep skin tone. Probably just a shade or two darker than me, you can find a shade for yourself, but if you are someone of a deeper skin tone than that, you cannot find a shade for yourself. Now coming to the foundation itself, it's of a very thick moussey consistency. So if you take a drop of this foundation onto the back of your hand and just try to keep it like this, like erect, the foundation would not move anywhere, it will just stay in place. So that's how thick it is. Now coming to the application part, I try to apply it on this side of my face. I tried applying it with a Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, and on this side I tried to apply it with a Real Techniques buffing brush. Now which is my favorite way of applying this foundation? It is definitely with the buffing brush, because this sponge I have a lot to talk about, which I will in another video. Leaving that aside, I don't really like it with a sponge. I don't really like how it blends. It's really thick, so the sponge kind of shifts the product away. It's not blending it with the skin, it's kind of removing the product off the skin. Whereas when I use it with a buffing brush, it kind of blends it pretty well, and it's easier to apply that way. It kind of blends in with your skin. Well, it doesn't really blend in with your skin, but it's easier to apply. Coming to the blending part, when you first apply it onto your skin, you will really hate the way it looks on your skin. It doesn't really blend at all. It's just like a layer of white foundation on top of your skin. It's been 30 minutes since I applied the foundation, and now it's sort of resting on the skin a lot better than how it was when I first applied it. And it also oxidizes. So when I first applied it, it was like white, but now it kind of is blending with my skin tone a lot better. In terms of coverage, it does provide like light to medium coverage, and definitely not full coverage because you cannot layer this product on. But even now, after like 30 minutes, it's still a little cakey on my face. I can see it like clinging on to some dry patches. Usually my skin is somewhat normal, but since it's this time of the year and it's winter, it does tend to get a little dry. So if you're planning to try this and you have really dry skin, I would recommend you stay clear of this. Don't even think of buying this foundation because it's not for dry skin or normal skin type during the winters. Probably during the summer months, it would look a lot better than it looks right now. I have to try it during the summertime to give that opinion. People with oily skin, I think, might like it, but since it's of moussey consistency, I don't know how long it would last and how it would stand the test of time. So the next product I'm going to be talking about is this Maybelline V-Face Duo Stick by Face Studio. I got this in the shade medium/dark, and this retails for 650 rupees. So it has like a contour shade on one end and it has a highlight shade on the other. Now for the contour end of it, I find that it's way too light even for my skin tone, and it's way too light to be medium to dark. So I applied it underneath my cheekbones, on my forehead and on my jawline. It doesn't really have the contour undertone to it. It's a lot more orangey, and so it's not the perfect undertone to chisel out your cheekbones. So what I would use this for is for bronzing and not to chisel out my cheekbones, not to contour with. Now coming to the product itself, it does blend really well. I tried it with this sponge, but this didn't really work for me. So I just used the Real Techniques contour brush and it did blend out really well. It was really easy to blend it. It was not patchy whatsoever. It's not a very stiff formula. It's very creamy. So it doesn't really take a lot of your time to blend it. It blends in no time. It's not very dark and it doesn't show up really well. So I had to set it with a powder which was in turn pigmented. So it did turn up the way I wanted it to. Now coming to the highlight end, I don't really like this. It's a cream highlight. It doesn't look nice. It again is very patchy on the skin. It doesn't apply evenly. So I don't really understand the point of this one. What were they trying to do with this? Because it doesn't apply evenly. It doesn't look like you've highlighted. So what in turn were they trying to do? I have no idea. So would I recommend this product to you guys? Nope. Although I will still be using this just to bronze up my face, but I don't think it's worth the investment. You can just get a concealer, a couple of shades darker to your skin tone, and use that as a cream contour. Why do you have to use this? So that's all I wanted to talk about this one. So the next product I'm going to be talking about is this Makeup Revolution Protection Palette. This is in the shade medium and this retails for 1350, although I got it on sale for around 1000 rupees. This is what the palette looks like. Since it's like black, you can see all your fingerprints on it. It leaves all the imprints and it gets really messy. It has a nice big mirror which I really like. So now coming to the product itself, there are 3 concealers on this side, a face powder, a bronzer, a blush and a highlight shade. Now coming to these concealers, so this is the concealer I used to color correct. So when you first touch on these concealers, they are pretty hard. Like it's in this compressed form, so it's pretty hard to get it out and make it a little creamy. But once you start like digging your fingers in, it does get a little creamy. That's only on the pan, but when you apply it under your eyes, it's a lot more rigid. It's not as creamy as a liquid concealer would be. Now, in terms of coverage, it does give decent coverage, but it doesn't really work well with layering products on top of it. Like when I applied foundation on top of this concealer underneath my eyes, it kind of split the concealer and they don't have very good lasting power. They fade away very quickly. So that's pretty much about this concealer, and this one I used it to conceal again after I applied foundation, but it was pretty much useless. It didn't do anything. Now coming to the face powder, it is pretty good. It sets the makeup well. It doesn't look patchy or it doesn't look white. It kind of is a nice texture. It does have a lot of kick up, but it is a good powder. Now coming to the bronzer shade, it is so pigmented yet it doesn't look patchy or harsh on the skin. It blends really well and it looks amazing on the skin. This blush again is very pigmented, very blendable and looks amazing. I really like this shade. So these two are my favorite things in this palette. This highlight shade though, I don't like it at all. The texture of this is very stiff. It's of a very stiff formula, so it doesn't really apply very well on the skin. I've tried applying it with my fingers, also this foundation brush, and both the ways I don't really like how it looks on the skin. This highlight again has a lot of pink undertones to it, which I don't really like. I like my highlights to have a gold undertone to it or a champagne undertone to it, and definitely not a pink undertone. So in total, I really didn't like how this highlight looked on my skin. It does not apply well. So it would have been a really good palette if all the things worked really well, because it's just one compact palette. You can just carry this. It's easy to travel with. You don't really need a ton of products if you just had this one palette, but that's not the case with this, because only these two products are really nice. Yeah, the face powder is nice, but you can use anything for that, and I don't think just 2 of this is worth 1350 rupees. And if you really wanted to try something, you can probably try their trio where they have a bronzer, blush and a highlight, which would turn out to be a lot cheaper than this. So would I recommend this to you guys? No. So now moving on to the eyes, I didn't really pick up any eyeshadow palette. I just have these eyeliners that I picked up. This is the L'Oreal Silkissime eyeliner in the shade Cobalt Blue. Now this one, if you have very sensitive eyes, you have to stay away from this. It really did burn the crap out of my eyes, turned it bright red, and it really looked like I had an eye infection. So I wouldn't recommend this to people like me with sensitive eyes. Although this is a really nice blue shade, it applies really nice on the eyes as well. It's very pigmented. Just one swipe of it is intense. It stays for a really long time even on the waterline, and it doesn't budge. So it would have been really nice if it didn't cause all those issues to my eyes. Now this on the other hand is pretty good. This is the LA Girl Gel Glide On Eyeliner. This is in the shade Gypsy Teal, and this is in the shade Black Amethyst, if I'm not wrong. I will leave the shade names in the description box below because I don't really remember, and it's not written on this. It's written on this thing which I had to rip open to open this one. So I have tried the LA Girl Gel Glide Eyeliner in the shade Dark Brown already. So It's not of a surprise to me that it is really nice. It's pigmented, it stays a pretty decent amount of time on my eyes. They don't smudge all that much, and these two are amazing shades and they don't burn my eyes. Now coming to mascara, this is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. This is in the non-waterproof variant. They have a waterproof variant as well. Now this product, I was waiting to try this for a really long time and it finally launched in India, so I had to grab it. This retails for 500 rupees, and as for the mascara itself, I feel it's pretty similar to Maybelline Colossal Mascara. The only difference is that I feel this one has a lot more lengthening effect on my lashes compared to the Colossal Mascara, but it doesn't really add any volume to my lashes, nor does it hold the curl in place, but I do really like it for the length that it adds. So if you are looking for some mascara that can add some lengthening effect to your lashes and not volume as such, you can try this. I do really like this and I think it's worth a try. Now moving on to the lips. I picked up this Chambor Xtreme Wear Transferproof Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade 484 Truffle. I'm pretty sure it's called Truffle online. Now this is a really nice brown shade and I think it would flatter a lot of skin tones. It comes in this pretty decent package. So it has a very nice applicator which is very beginner friendly. You don't really have to worry about messing this up and it gives you very good control. Now coming to the texture of this liquid lipstick, it's somewhat thick. It is a little moussey, so when you apply it, it's not very liquidy and it's not very hard to apply, and it takes good 3 to 4 minutes to set completely, which gives you time to alter any mistakes that you've done. And once it sets, it doesn't transfer all that much. It just transferred very little onto the back of my hand. Once I applied this lipstick and let it set for a while, I wanted to notice how it feels on the lips. Now right away I would like to tell you guys that it is a little heavy on the lips. Like you do feel like you have something on the lips. It's not like you have no product at all. But with that being said, I don't feel like it's tugging on my lips. It's not like too drying and it's not like it's pulling my lips apart. It's a lot more comfortable than you would expect a liquid lipstick to be. And before I applied this liquid lipstick, I didn't moisturize my lips. I didn't exfoliate my lips as well. So there was no balm or no exfoliation done. And without doing all that, I feel like it is still a lot more comfortable on the lips. It's not flaking away. It's not emphasizing any dry patches. It's not making it very dry, although it is a little dry towards the center of my lips, which typically happens with any liquid lipstick. So personally, I really like the formula. I like the shade. I like that it's not way too dry on my lips, and it's definitely worth a try because they have a wide range of color selection, which I'm planning to buy few more shades, and it's easily available in India. And this is priced at 845 rupees, which might seem like, oh, that's way too expensive, but it's worth it. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. In case you are planning to buy some of the new launches from Nykaa, do comment down and let me know if you're planning to buy something. What is that one product that you really liked and you've been procrastinating on buying for a really long time? So don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Stay flush. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to shape your eyebrows at home. So you have to hold your skin tight so that the razor moves smoothly and you don't end up having any cuts, and you have to move against the direction of the hair growth because that way it's smoother and it's easier to take off the hair.